Hello, folks. Hello, folks. I'm saying hello, folks, until the singular viewer comes back, and then I can go back to my usual introduction of hello, singular viewer, and oh, never mind. Hello, singular viewer. You're gonna have to wait until the never mind part, but hi. Today is Sunday, February 21. I got my mic set up again. I can't tell if it's too quiet, but I'm gonna bring it up way more than I need to. And I might... Whoop, that peaked. Is this better or worse? Hello! Okay. Got my mic set up. My desk is finally in order. Now, it's not the cleanest, but it makes sense, and it's not all over the place. It's not just a mountain of things. There's nice stacks of things, yes, but it's actually functional, which is great. Love that. Everything has its place. Everything belongs somewhere accessible, and I'm a very happy girl. Today, I woke up very late in the day, which is great after nearly a whole month of well, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like I was super busy. I just felt like I'm supposed to be busy. And so I made myself that way. But now it feels okay to just, take my time. It doesn't feel like there's any pressure. That's the blessing of a weekend. I need a burp, but I can't. So anyway. I trimmed my hair. I think I mentioned this last time. I honestly don't remember what I talked about last time. I really don't. Oh, I think I left it off at like a somewhat... It just didn't feel complete. And I really had to pee at the end of that, so I just kind of gave up. It wasn't a very full circle of me. But I cut my hair. It's like kind of taller than usual, fluffier, bouncier. I did blow dry it and trim it. So, yeah, the mullets. My mom said it looks shiny. I'm like, oh, does it now? Does it now? You could be lying to me, but thanks for the hype. Yes, mother. Thank you, mother. Accepted. And I like the blonde that it's at right now, at least in this lighting. The light strawberry, it doesn't seem too cheap. When it gets to a certain level of brassy, it just starts feeling cheap and like gross. But right now, how it is, pretty good. I kind of feel like I'm from Japan in the 80s. It's pretty neat feeling. Okay, so as I was saying, it is Sunday, and it feels like, whoa, it's Saturday, but it feels like a Sunday kind of weekend. Like the whole weekend is really just Sunday extended. That's really great. Like it feels as peaceful and free as a Sunday should be. I've already brushed my teeth. I'm already all prepped for bed. Got my nighttime socks on, my pajama pants. Nice, thin, long sleeve. This was originally a boy's shirt that I got in a consignment store. And I cut it all up. I made a crop top out of it and put some shoulder slits in. Because when I got it, it was still pretty hot. And I was like, well, I'm not going to wear long sleeves in this weather. And now I wear long sleeves in every weather, and it's great. Speaking of weather, it most certainly is springtime. And let me tell you how I know. Because after sleeping in until 4:20 p.m., I woke up, took in a lungful of air, and realized I have allergies. Yeah, it's allergy season. That's how I know it's springtime. Luckily, I only teared up a little bit and had a runny nose, nothing too severe, but it was most definitely a tad bit annoying and did not help me want to get out of bed. But guess what? I got out of bed anyway. And also, my hair's like, I can't stop touching it. I can't stop moving with it because it's like just, it's so fluffy. I trimmed all the dead ends. It's so fluffy. It's so fluffy. Yeah, I called some loved ones today. Just a couple. My sister, who I spoke to earlier in the week in less um, pleasant circumstances, and my mom, who I have been putting off speaking with like all month long, which is not a terrific feeling. It's not that I have been avoiding her, because I do pick up her calls and I'll call her every now and then, but it's never like time I can actually set aside and dedicate to listening and speaking with her and catching up. Today was the first time in a while where I didn't need a plan to feel secure. I felt secure and safe the moment I woke up. Oh my God. And peace, so much peace. It's kind of like alarming. Like, if I was so invested in holding on to my fear, I would be alarmed at how stable and boring and unchaotic today has been. I went biking. I meant to go pick up my prescription from CVS. I ended up being 10 minutes late to their closing time. Yeah. And I biked there. So, like, maybe if I left 10 minutes earlier or if I drove there, I would have had it. But I didn't. That's not what happened. So what will happen is that tomorrow, after eating my breakfast and taking my meds in the morning, because I did oversleep today, but that wasn't a bad thing. For once, sleeping in didn't feel guilty. It did feel guilty as I was doing it, and then I realized I have no reason to feel guilty. I woke up, I'm like, today is a weekend. I could, be more proactive for the upcoming week I have. But I think the most proactive thing I could do is just take this moment to rest. And so I did. I got in a little bit of exercise on my bike, tidied up my bathroom. Yeah, the counter was disgusting. So was the mirrors. Um, put some dirty shit in the hamper, and I'll wash those and dry those tomorrow. And as that's happening, then I can put my clean laundry away. And then I can probably assume that after cleaning up my laundry, I'll take a look at my room and be like, yeah, I can tidy up here and there. And before I know it, my room will be like pretty fucking pristine. Yeah. Or at least that's all I can hope for. That is one possibility of how tomorrow can go. I do already have a checklist for tomorrow. I just finished writing that down. I'm trying to keep in mind that it's not a priority to complete every single thing on the list. It's just meant to give me direction for the day. And I feel like life is treating me well. This past week, I've been struggling, um, to treat life as well as possible. Granted, I have been, but it still has been a struggle. And today I feel like life has been treating me. And it started yesterday, but today I'm like really reaping and just relishing in it. I'm burning some incense behind me. It's a tranquility incense. Sometimes I alternate between the cones because I have some cone incense. One is cinnamon, one is frankincense. I alternate between those. Last night I fell asleep with a frankincense one. Yeah. I had a dream of my mom and my auntie on my mom's side. I don't remember what else the dream was about, but I do remember that the painting I was staring at was of my mom and auntie, but it was just like one lady and it was their face like split. So one side of the lady's face was my mom, the other side was her sister. I stared at that painting for a long time. I don't like, is that a sign? Should I paint it? Maybe. I don't really have paint though. I do know who does, and I do know how to get some. Just add it to the list of things. To the list of things I have time for. Not the list of things that I have to do or that I need to get to, but the things I do have time for. And it doesn't have to be today's time or tomorrow evening's time. It's just whenever my time to do that is. See, this whole perspective thing, like, truly is relative. It really truly is. And you can, like, think about it in one simple way and realize and rediscover it in another, more profound way. I am dribbling snot. Thank you, allergies. It's, like, not as bad as it was in the morning, but it's still there. I really am becoming an adult. And yeah, I wanna smile and celebrate about it, but it's also just fucking weird. Like, it's just fucking weird. That's just all. And I don't really like using the word weird in a bad context. I don't use it in a bad context. I truly don't think the word weird is a bad thing. And yeah, the tone in which I used it was a little bit more like not a great way of putting it. Weird as in it would be silly to try to comprehend it when I can so simply put it as weird. And that's not contempt, that's acceptance. That's full recognition of what it is for what it is. And just naming it. I could describe it deeper. Matter of fact, that's just what I'll do right now. Weird. See, I grew up in the early internet age, you know, when the millennials were obsessed with the tattoo of a mustache or like those thick rim glasses, the suspenders and scene queens. Yeah, that was my shit. I didn't have MySpace, but I looked up to people who had MySpace. Yeah, weird in the community that I identified myself with was something to celebrate. And yeah, maybe that is super cringy, but you know what? Cringy was just another word. It was just another descriptor. Weird is like, let's be weird together. Weird is great. Weird is cool. Weird is curious and fascinating and magical. And it's always been that way until I met other people whom I called my friends, and yet they used it in a way that I didn't see it. It was different, but the way they perceived it different was harmful to my own perception. I identified so fondly as weird, and I was proud of it. But, over time, it became clear that weird was not something they valued, and that the way they so deliberately did not say that I don't like your weird, because like that would just make them mean and bad for that. They were careful. I hadn't been so conscious of other people's misjudgments until that happened, until a few months ago. Before I met them, I would have just assumed there was another thing wrong with me that I just could not spot. Before then, it would have been anxious, anxiety inducing to be perceived as weird. Not even called weird, but perceived as weird. Even though I was proud to be that way. Because if what they see as weird is the thing that I like, the thing that I am to myself, is it wrong? Is it weird as in I should reconsider whether or not if I'm causing harm by being the way I want to be? And that just brought on a whole set of questions that I didn't need to know the answer to. It wasn't my responsibility. I had no idea what was my responsibility. Because everything that other people told me was my responsibility was everything I despised, that I refused. School, academic excellence was my responsibility. Since I was dependent, I was a child. There's nothing else a child can do. There's nothing else for a child to do than be good, behave, do well. It took a long time for me to start scrutinizing criticizing the role a child or the youth play in the society I grew to know. Yeah, many people will look at it differently and have varying opinions in accordance to mine, but that doesn't matter right now because the only one who's speaking and listening is me and my dear singular viewer. Um, it took a long time for me to be able to examine in depth what a child's role in their family and in their community truly is. The movies tell you it's adventure, it's wonder. Authority tells you it's to be seen and not heard, and yet contribute, but don't disobey. To speak up when you need help, but do not disturb the peace. Those are all very contradicting things that I don't think people pick apart at enough. It doesn't cross people's mind enough. I would say it's harmful to give someone so young all that contradictory information. But maybe it's not harmful. Maybe it's exactly the information they need to know. It's simply the delivery of that. The ways in which they're taught. However it is these children will learn. Yes, these are things young people need to know, but it matters how they come to know it. If they learn that in a place of fear, judgment, then they'll act from a place of fear and judgment. And they'll grow up that way. And then the rest of the world will blame them. The way we blame the older people of our generation for acting the way they were taught to. It is so harmful. So much animosity, it almost brings me to tears. But I started today out with a peaceful mindset. Today we're taking a look at a bigger picture, because I have the mental capacity to do that. I'm not currently fighting a war. So let's start. I mean, it doesn't have to be a war, but it does need to be a revolution. Needs to pick apart what we know and break it down. Now, it doesn't need to be absolutely demolished, but we need to understand it piece by piece, because we have not been doing that for too long. Okay, where can we start? Learning from a place of collaboration and contribution to the world beyond our most current worst circumstances. You keep telling the children where the world is right now. That's all they'll know. That's all they'll see. Tell the children what the world can be, what the world has been. Let them witness for themselves what the world is now. Don't tell them. Inform them, but don't tell them how it is for you. I don't know. That's hard, right? Do the hard thing. That's the one that matters. The hard thing is the thing that'll mean the most. The one that takes the most effort is the one worth using all that energy for. These are just beliefs that I only recently started to understand. I didn't grow up with these beliefs. I grew up with do whatever I can. Listen to what you're told. Take whatever you are offered. And I followed those beliefs, but I'll never know if I used them in the context they were meant to be used for. I just won't ever know. Maybe I will. Maybe I think I will. But if I think too hard about that, I think I might slip out of my peaceful state of mind. Yes, I do feel secure in how I feel right now, but I also know that my mind is a powerful place, and it is powerful and terrifying and strong and weak. But not because it's vulnerable, but because it's drawn to the easy thing that I've trained it to go to. I mean, maybe I alone didn't train it. That wouldn't be fair. That would be taking a lot more accountability than what is called for. But my train of thought was saying something about collaborating. That's what I never really liked about being competitive. I never liked being competitive. I always saw myself as a shortcomer, a late bloomer. Last picked, last placed. Yeah, wasn't too fond of competition from that. I didn't mean to start to believe that I am an inherent loser. I never meant to believe that. That's just what I picked up from my own circumstances. What I'm choosing to believe now in place of that is that if I seek out losing games, yes, I may win those, but does that make me a winner? Do I feel accomplishment from that? For me, no. Personally, I don't. I wouldn't. I haven't. So I'm not going to try that anymore. The easiest thing I could have done was just keep playing losing games, and I would never lose my winning streak. In some cases, maybe that context is fitting and maybe it works, but just it's not mine. It's not for me. Maybe it was mine, but it wasn't for me. No. A few questions crossed my mind last night. How's life treating you? And how are you treating life? How are you using the cards you've been dealt? How has life gifted you? And what have you brought life in return? What have you brought to life? What brings you to life? What brings a person like you alive? What reminds you to draw in your breath? What reminds you to exhale? There's someone that I have kept love for that I have not told that I love. There's a possibility that I'll never get the chance, and there's a possibility that I will always have the chance. I have no idea what the fuck my next step is. I don't know if this is a time when the universe is supposed to gift me this, or if this is a time when the universe wants me to take action. Universe wants what it wants, so I'm assuming if I wait a little bit longer, whatever passes was never meant for me, and whatever urges me needed me. That's a new philosophy, a new belief that I'm starting to entertain. It's just a little experiment. And doing my best to remain objective about the results and the information, the data that I gather from that. The data should never be subjective, opinionated. I don't know. Because that's what made the most sense to me before. Apparently, you can be objective and things can be relative. You can be factual and still true. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything real. until it really does mean something to you in relation to you. And that's where the subjectivity is welcome, and I think only then. But like I said, it's an experiment, so nothing's certain. Bless me. Thank me. Yesterday I made rose water. I picked the petals off of a rose that I was given to for Valentine's Day. I felt like a witch. Especially when I went to go boil them with honeysuckle. I was just throwing my herbs into this bubbling it's not a beaker. Measuring cup. A glass measuring cup, because I didn't want to have to wash a pot. A glass measuring cup is, I think, easier to clean. So yeah, I made tea. And that was nice. And then as I was picking the rose petals off the stem, I would do that thing where I go, love me not. Except instead of saying love me, he loves me, or he loves me not, I went, I love me, you love me. I love me, you love me. I love me. I would lose count. I love me, and you love me. And I love me, and you love me. And I lose count again, and I go, and you love me, and you love me, and I love me. And I just keep going on. And I don't even remember what it ended with. Probably, I love me. And then the center of it that just had the reproductive parts of the flower, I just put it in my snail's terrarium habitat. That was kind of my way of saying, I love me, you love me, and I love you, to Darlene, my snail. Except I haven't fed her. You know what? Let me just give her a piece of this banana. Also, I don't know if they like peanut butter, but there's already peanut butter on here. She hasn't really eaten banana before. It kind of just like molded before she ate any of it. But if she's hungry, she's gonna eat. This is fruit. Snails love fruit. Snails love different fruit better, but I don't know. I kind of like want to give her an almond, but I don't think they eat nuts. Hold on. My friend's snail eggs hatched the other day. I think I was having like a difficult day, and she sent me that, and I just stopped worrying so much. And I still didn't feel that great, but I wasn't so worried. There was a lot of snails, like a lot of baby snails that hatched, and some of them were still hatching, like they were still in their shell. She's obsessed with them, and that's a great thing. I do have a few eggs myself. I don't know if I'm treating them right. I think they're supposed to like stay in the dirt, but I flip them so that they would be exposed to sunlight, and I don't know if that's correct. And I could look it up, and I might look it up, but I probably may or may not. So, whoops. I'm a little bit dehydrated. In a minute. Ooh, I had a few topics that I had written down, and I didn't look at them. So let's look at them. I like making phone calls. Like, if I'm gonna order something or like schedule something, I don't know. It's usually the phone calls that you get put on hold for, but I definitely prefer those phone calls over like signing up online, filling out this form and that. Because yeah, I can type. I type well. I type fast. My gross words per minute is exponential. Excellent. But how many times do you get to hear other people's voice? How many times do you hear someone's voice that you'll never hear again? I mean, probably a lot, but like, I still remember their names. One was Jennifer, she's from the billing department. The other was Daphne, she's the one who actually talked to me. Today it was Kate, and she had a Filipino accent, and I really wanted to say salamat before hanging up, but I didn't think it was appropriate. But it could have been, but I chose not to. I don't know. Like, what if after saying that she would have gotten like self-conscious about her accent? I know my mom was like that, kind of. But I don't know exactly what triggered it. Or if she was just self-conscious like all the time. I really don't know. Aha, here it is. These are subjects I meant to talk about on Valentine's Day, and then the podcast kind of got a little bit overran by a famous TED Talk host. Oh, I did want to talk about astrology. For anyone who's curious and for anyone who would like to share, personally, my sun sign is Cancer. Big surprise, right? Sure. I don't know. For those of you, wow. Hey, singular viewer, I don't remember if you know this, but that last podcast where I straight up started crying on camera. Yeah. So, like, maybe you are surprised that I'm a Cancer. Also, I really hated identifying as Cancer at first, when I first found out. Before I even knew what being a Cancer really meant. I just hated, like cancer? Are you fucking kidding me? Like the disease? Like the deadly one? Like the one these children are in the hospital for? That's what it's called. And as if that wasn't bad enough, anytime I would see a post having to do with cancer, it would always be, such a crybaby, so emotional, moody, trust issues, nurturing, an old soul. And the worst fashion sense. And then I, actually got in depth with my birth chart and found out, wow, I'm not like just Cancer. Like, Cancer is not just Cancer. For example, my moon sign and my rising, Capricorn. Now, if you didn't know this, Cancer and Capricorn are exact opposites on the zodiac wheel. Like, they're in opposition. They're in perfect opposition. Which makes sense. For me, I am one person. And sometimes I am in complete opposition to myself. And I stand firm in both grounds, you know? I would explain it more, but I'm pretty sure you get it. If you don't get it, just think harder about it. Or think less hard about it. Then the other day, I started researching more about the different houses each sign you have is in. My 4th house is in Aries. That has something to do with communication or something. My 2nd house, or whatever house, or 3rd, has to do with material possession, is in Aquarius. My Cancer is in my 7th house, which means 7 is my lucky number, which, surprise, surprise, I don't know, 7 is a lot of people's lucky number. Did I mention that I do truly believe that this might be my 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th life? I don't know if I've mentioned this on live before. I've told it to myself in that very corner over there while I was cleaning, but I don't remember if it was on camera. Yeah, I think I've had at least 5 past lives. Reason why I think it could be 6, 7, 8, or 9 is because for some reason, one of the reasons was like, if you take 4 away from 10, 10 is like the complete set of numbers. That's how high you can get before you go back to reducing numbers down. Or simplifying the numbers back down. 10 minus 4, that's 6. 6 is my birth month, June. My birthday is the 24th. So if I look at that 4, subtract it from 10. If I look at that 2, subtract it from 10. Boom, that's 6 to 8 right there. See, these numbers, they could have relations and make no sense at all, but I'm still going to give it whatever meaning I please because I can. So I will. What other reasons? 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. That's another 6. Also, I've been seeing double 6s and double 3s. But yesterday was February 20th, 2021. And today is February 21, 2021. So that's 2/21, 2021. Interesting. I don't know. It's just, oof, the pattern makes my brain scramble. I told my mom that I like to read or watch tarot card readings on YouTube because she's like also kind of obsessed with YouTube. And she's like, "Oh, you're gonna become a fortune teller." I'm like, maybe. I already have the crystals and the incense and the intuition. That's another thing. People always say Cancer have such connection with their intuition. And you know, I'm not denying, but I am skeptical, and for good reason. Like a healthy amount of skeptical, I think. Intuition. You mean the gut feeling? You mean listening to your body? Is that what intuition means? I don't know. Maybe it'll click. Maybe it's gonna make sense when it actually happens. But right now, it's like, I mean, I guess. Like, I guess I trust myself. I guess. I guess I trust my decisions. I mean, sometimes I don't, but like I will. But sometimes I don't, but like I will. You know? Um, yeah, that might be all I have to say about astrology right now. I do have 3 different astrology apps on my phone, which I do say with a little bit of shame, just a little bit, because like 3, really, 3 different apps. It's because they tell you different things in different ways, okay? And the format is different, okay? Like one of them I can read on the daily. It's just like short little summaries of what I can direct my day with or what I could possibly expect. The other ones are more long term. One is more factual, one is more cultural. I don't know. I like the different sources, okay? That shouldn't be something bad. The more sources of the same thing, the more broad your knowledge of it is. It just so happens to be that subject of knowledge I like to know about is astrology. Yeah, I don't like. Well, I've been in a interactive kind of mood. Past couple days, I've been more open to talking to people, which is nice. Oh, did I mention I fucking hate saying this word. I usually can say it with no hesitation, but right now it's Mercury, 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 Mercury. Mercury retrograde ended today, and I feel like I already said that, but in case that I didn't, now I have. Communication isn't so blocked. Personally, this is how I have been experiencing the retrograde. It just became a lot easier to socially isolate. I became so wrapped up in like the details of everything, which is nice, but it also became like the only thing. Now, the bigger picture isn't so overwhelming. But I thought, wow, if these details feel like a lot, I can't even think about the bigger picture. I'm in a mindset now, right now, where I can be like, okay, yes, this is a plan. And I don't need to attach any narrative, any stress or worries or concerns. I can just take that as it is and understand it's a possibility. And it's also a possibility that it won't be so simple as what I'm hoping for it to be. Now it's just a matter of, taking those adversities, challenging them, and recovering with every hit I take. I already spoke to you about numerology. I don't know. Like I feel like I've told you all I could possibly express about how I feel about numerology. I don't know. Crystals. I do want to get more crystals. I don't want to spend money on crystals. Unless it's like a really cute store. Like that one store on the way back from my Flagstaff road trip. It was like a halfway road stop. That was a really cute store. And really cheap. They were just throwing discounts at us. I'm like, yes. Yes, I will. I want black tourmaline, onyx, obsidian, amazonite, tiger's eye, possibly jasper. And that might be it. Maybe pyrite. Fool's gold. I actually don't know what the benefits of fool's gold is. Like, what the attributes are. I might look that up. Jasper's supposed to be good for me. I forget why, but I looked it up and remembered that it's supposed to be good for me. Black tourmaline, I think, is protection, as well as onyx. I forget what obsidian is for. Maybe protection too? Stability? Grounding? I think that's black tourmaline. Is it? It's like the yellowy, milky one. That one's nice. Citrine. Amethyst, it's alright, but I don't know. I'm not so drawn to it. Same with quartz. Like, I have a regular clear quartz. It's pretty raw. And I do like rose quartz, but I don't think I would benefit from owning one. Yeah, I like crystals. They're just pretty, and they're rocks, and I like collecting them. I used to collect shells. Yeah. Like, it started with fake shells, and then I was like, oh my god, I go to the beach all the time. Why don't I just, get my own shells? So I started collecting shells every time I went to the beach, which at the time I would go to Hawaii and LA and Spain and Greece. I remember shells I got from Greece. I don't know if I still have them. I think I do, somewhere in that music box over there. But the shells were never... They were only ever pieces of a shell. Only the fake shells, or the ones I bought, would usually be like a whole shell. On Etsy, they sell shells that you can use as a pipe, and I was so tempted, but I didn't get it. Now I have an abalone clamshell that I keep incense ashes in. And I also put my crystals there. It's just pretty. The inside of it is so pretty. Except I accidentally burned a cone on that, and I didn't realize that the bottom of the cone would like leave a burn mark on the shell. So now there's just like a burnt circle on my pretty ass shell. So that's a shame. But the rest of the shell is still pretty. The inside's so pretty. It's like pearlescent. I love it. I do want a pearl too. But if I do get pearl, it's gonna be like a pearl necklace. A short pearl necklace, but a pearl necklace. I have a fake pearl necklace, but there's this vintage store that I like. You know what? Tomorrow I might just go there, storm right in, go right to where the vintage pearl is. Be like, yeah, one. Unlock that cabinet. I'm gonna buy it right now. But first, let me try it on because I want to make sure it's the right length. Pearl. It's also my birthstone. I didn't like it so much. I was like, I want to be a diamond. Diamonds are hard, dude. Pearls are like the ocean equivalent of coal. And that's pretty dope. Because coal is like... Or charcoal? Either one. My Minecraft knowledge. Anyway. Coal is a symbol of the devil. Or death. No, symbol of death. Because it's made of carbon. Monoxide? Dioxide? I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know. Either one. Carbon is the chemical of death. And oxygen, I guess, is the chemical of life. I don't know. Because when you're like decaying, there's a whole bunch of carbon building up in you. So I can understand how that signifies death. I don't know why, but I distinctly recall a line from Shake It Up in conjunction with Rihanna's Diamond in the Rough. But like, when you press sand, Cece thought it becomes a diamond. And then Rocky's like, no, that's coal. You know what? I don't know. I kind of want coal in a diamond now. It could be like a little diamond, like a real little diamond. It doesn't even have to be cut. Yo, imagine like uncut diamond, like raw diamond. Power. Coal is just kind of cool, like just a little bit. Oh wait, charcoal coals, like for art, like for using to draw. Those are actually really cool. Right now I have some pastels. I used to use coal. They kind of feel the same, but I mean, they look similar. But damn, I miss drawing with coal. I kind of want to get one of them again. Charcoal. Yeah. Oh my god. Just imagine I'm making an art piece using charcoal pens or pencils or marker, whatever you call that, on craft paper. Then you use like white ink pens or on black paper. Oh my god, I am obsessed with black craft paper. I only have brown and gray. Or is it black cardstock? Either way, black paper, like textured black paper. Exciting. Ooh. No, I'm not talking about construction paper. Like maybe, but not the smooth one. Like the smooth black paper is cool, but it's something about like the texture of not smooth paper. I don't know. I get excited. It's sensational. Anyway, that black paper is what Cole reminds me of, and I think it'd be really cool if you like made something like a mixed medium art piece with white ink, charcoal, black craft paper. Maybe, I don't know. I'm getting excited. Using like only neutral colors, because I do like coloring, but like neutral colors in a mixed medium extravagant art piece. Masterpiece. Exciting. One day, put it on the list of things I have time for. Full circle, kind of, almost. It's a connection, okay? Yeah, I want a pearl necklace. There's a vintage store. They have one for like $22, and I think the one I actually want is like $44. I at least need to try it on. I at least need a picture in it. We'll see. It'll be my reward if I fully complete my list of things, starting with half. I don't have to complete it all at once, but complete half with full intention and determination to complete the other half. And then that pearl necklace is mine. Also, just think about it. Sand getting trapped under the tongue of a clam is how pearls are created. The saliva of the clam kind of like gathers around it, smoothens the sand, and kind of builds it into a fucking pearl. That was like, I don't know if I made this connection before or after I got my tongue pierced, but like the little white ball, I feel like a clam. And that makes me want to be like happy as a clam because they smile so wide, because they're like 80% mouth. The world is your oyster. That means that I'm a pearl and I am created in the pressure of the world. Oh, hey, singular viewer almost had a friend, and that friend left. I feel you, singular viewer. I felt that. I understand. I'm sorry. I'm still here. Please don't go. So anyway, the obsidian inlay. I told you this already. This one fell out, and I want to get super glue so I could just bop it back in there, but I don't know if we have super glue, and I don't want to buy super glue if we have it, and I don't really want to look for it, so I kind of just postpone it. I don't mind. I mean, as long as it's, like, still keeping itself together, I guess. I don't know. There's a feeling of incompleteness, but I'm not too poorly affected by that. Only internally. Meditation, self-hypnosis, and breath work. Yeah, that's kind of like a nightly routine as of late. Like I'll be in my bed, I'll listen to some sort of something something hurts music or the binaural sound. You know, one of those really long videos, like hours long videos on YouTube. Sometimes they're just like a humming sound with some other music. Sometimes it's a humming sound with a mix of piano. Those are my favorite. I like when they mix it with other instruments. See, that second person keeps coming back for more. Come, stay, join us. Like, hello. Breath work. I don't know. I'm starting to get to that point in the month, that point in the cycle where my body is like more conscious of where I put pressure, where the tension is. It's more sensitive to releasing that pressure. All I have to do is just move my body a certain way. Pop. Oh, there you go. Comfort at last. And, you know, that always helps with breath work. I was talking about arthritis with my sister because our grandma had it. We were talking about her thumbs and like joints. She works in an orthopedic office which specializes in arthritis. But we were talking about how like when we're driving or when I'm like holding the handle of something, like my thumb kind of just there's a pressure. There's a bit of an ache. I've been kind of more aware of that lately. So I'm like trying to find a safer position to keep my thumb in. So like maybe I hold it closer to my palm. Because I know when I hold it further away, like that, then it gets fucked up. So I don't know. Just okay. Also, have you noticed that my palm line right here just goes straight across? Apparently it's a thing, and it has a name, but I don't remember what it is. My left hand doesn't do that. My left hand is normal, but it's also, like, not as effective as my right hand. Palmistry. That's another thing somewhat connected to, astrology and, you know, basically everything I've been talking about. Palmistry. The lines of your palms. Palm reading. Palm readings. Yeah, there's information to learn of every part of your body. Sometimes your body tells it for you. That's crazy. Is that what intuition is? Imagine me just like creating merch and it's just like a terrible t-shirt in the worst font asking, is this what intuition is? Is that what intuition is? My favorite tarot card reader finally put out merch and I really want to buy it, but it costs like $20 for a t-shirt that says "Oh my days" on a tarot card. And I'm still tempted. I just really don't like spending money. Until all of a sudden I do like spending money, and that's usually when it's impulsive, and that's when I most regret spending money. Oh god. I have to want it for a long long period of time. Have to sustain the desire in order to actually have it. Oh, I already talked about burning candles and incense. I've burned all my candles that I have down to the bottom. And like, I have these mostly empty jars of candle wax. I'm thinking of just like melting them all and putting them in a small candle jar and just making my own candle out of repurposed candles. I might consider that. Add it to the list. Things I have time for. I had to sneeze. Posture, meditation, breathwork have a lot to do with each other. I'm using one of the candle jars that I finished up to hold my incense sticks. So I just like stab the wax with the wooden end of the stick, and it just like stays up, and I keep it at an angle so that all the ashes just fall down into the jar. I like it. I like doing that. I don't know, it feels nice to like stab through the wax. It's like the equivalent of soap cutting videos to me. Okay. Aphrodite. I sang to her on Valentine's Day. I felt so deprived of love that I sang to Aphrodite. That was sort of like a prayer or a ritual or some sort of summoning. She didn't come, like, physically. And she didn't come sexually either. Not for me, at least. Was that necessary? No, it doesn't have to be necessary for me to have the will to say it, okay? Shut the fuck up. I hate it when people go, is that necessary? No, you're not necessary, but you're here. I'm not stopping you. Quit trying to stop me. Oh my god. Oh, and I actually did get to talk about appropriate versus inappropriate V-Day gifts. It was just a very brief conversation. But I don't know. I had been receiving gifts from an admirer. And I couldn't help but feel initially guilty. Like, I've done nothing to earn this. Can you, like, and like, if I accept this, I'm gonna be taking this from you. The way I see it, like, I understand this is an offer. I also understand, that by taking this, I don't know, just something felt unsafe about it. But that was mainly just a response to something from the past. I was projecting something. Still trying to figure out what that was. Yeah, I want to crochet. There's like a whole lot of hobbies that I know I like doing, I just don't make time for. And I have time for it. Okay, well, I have clearly gone over the hour mark. And I've talked about all the topics I really have. I really enjoy music culture. You know, music from every part of the world and its ties to the history of that culture. The other day, I learned about the origins and evolution of Sudanese music. It's beautiful. They've created their own interpretation of reggae music, and I fucking love it. It's so good. K-pop, you might not know actually. I don't express how much I have been obsessed with K-pop on this channel, but in my personal life, I've made it abundantly clear that there is always going to be a soft spot in my heart for K-pop. So, Hyukoh, Hyukoh, all caps, has a song called Help that I just fucking adore. And it's in all English if you are xenophobic. No, I'm just kidding. That was rude. That was calling out. That was passive aggressive. And I'm not really sorry, but I acknowledge that it was not entirely called for. Anyway, the song is pleasant and I like it. 88 Rising, some of their song releases that are a little bit newer it all kind of has a groovier sound to it. Like Joji, Rich Brian, Nicki, their songs have recently become a little bit groovy. I can't tell if that's just like the genre of what's trending right now, or if that's really the direction we're going in. I don't know. It's interesting, and I like it. Also, the song Lost in Yesterday by Tame Impala. Now, I became averse to Tame Impala ever since they became like widely celebrated, which is pretty lame of me. That's pretty pretentious hipster of me. But it's a natural instinct, so yeah, there's plenty of songs that I want to listen to. It's just like as soon as I see that song, I'm just like, I don't want to listen to that right now. And then I skip it immediately. And I think, but like I know it's a good song. I just don't want to listen to Tame Impala. I don't know. I do like it. I don't know. I don't need to explain it. I really don't. But like I kind of want to understand it. Like why? Um Lost in Yesterday. I think I like it the most because the first time I heard it was while watching the music video. And when you watch a music video while listening to a song for the first time, my K-pop stans know this, but it is an experience. It just takes the song beyond. It just becomes a whole experience. And and that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the experience. Yeah. Well, good night. It's 10:41. I promised myself I would be in bed by 10:30. It's okay. I always break my promises when it comes to time. Always. Almost always, but like basically always. And it's not intentional, but it kind of is at this point. Cuz like why am I setting myself up if I know I'm not going to follow that? It's a learning curve. We got to process, okay? I'm gonna go read my tarot card reading. And maybe, oh my god, I just realized I really love Australian YouTubers. Like, Okay. Right now, off the top of my head, I'm only thinking of 2. One of them is a parody channel using Barbie dolls and stop motion. My girly, geeky, explorative mind just shivers at the thought. Geeky over, stop motion and dolls, and girly over that sense of humor that is just so absurd. Yeah, I'm talking about Mickey and Sam's YouTube channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and watch their Barbie stop motion parodies. It's just the character they build for Barbie is so funny. I just love thinking of Barbie that way. Like 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 a BoJack Horseman-esque sort of celebrity. And it applies. It makes sense. And I really like it. This modern take on Barbie is doing it for me. It really is. That and the Hermit Tarot, also Australian, but she is of Aboriginal culture, which is just, native Australian. I did research on them for an assignment one year in school, several years ago, I think. That was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Listening to her tell me, like, affirm things is just really comforting. Her voice is just really comforting, especially when she's reading um, thoughts or feelings from my person, and, heavy cards come out and she's reading them as their opinions, and she's like, "Oh my dear, oh my days, this person is heavily opinionated." I don't know. I really like that recognition. Someone else like saying like, "This is not completely factual. Like there is heavily opinion-based beliefs here." I take myself very subjectively, and I believe I view other people as very I'm not gonna explain myself the right way with these words that I'm trying to use. I'm not going to say what I thought I wanted to say because it ended up not being what I really want to say. So instead, I'm going to say good night. Sleep tight. And maybe let a bad boy bite. I like rhyming and I didn't make a rhyme throughout the entire stream until just now. Okay, bye.